3-3 series.
Really, really bad with our pick and roll coverage. They got what they wanted. We didn't do our pick and roll coverage, especially in the third quarter. We maybe did the pick and roll coverage correctly 8% of the time, if we're lucky. And we got to do a better job. It has to matter for us. We're going to have to work harder, and we're going to have to want to get the job done to protect your teammates. But if we get the same type of effort with our execution or our game plan execution, and then the energy and all that, it's going to be a long night for us on Saturday whenever we play.
Coach, do you have any explanation for why you guys came out so flat, except for Kobe?
No, I don't. I thought Sesh was solid. I thought Ebanks was okay. I thought Matt played with some energy. I thought Jordan tried to play with some energy. We're going to need more out of our two bigs. They're our second, third best players, and we're going to need a lot more out of those guys in order to try to win the series. But not just scoring wise, defensively, to follow the game plan, discipline, and do it with some effort and some energy, and really just lay it out on the line.
So we head to Game 7. The Nuggets absolutely rolling into Game 7 at Staples Center. Who do you like, Kenny?
Why'd you come to me first? I mean, I was rolling with them Lakers all the way up until this point. Why'd you come to me first? I tell you, this is the toughest decision I probably had in a long time watching basketball because, talent-wise, I would say the Lakers should win this. They're at home. But, that last 4 or 5 minutes of the game and just the expressions on guys' faces and the way they act, I'm actually, for the first time, rooting for a team to win, which is the Denver Nuggets.
Shaq? Because I think I already know his answer, but I'll go to him.
Well, I'm going to say experience wins the series, but I'm anxious to see which Denver team shows up. Is it going to be the team, at least you guys ain't sweep us? Mm-hmm. At least we took it to 7, and are they going to lay down? Because when the Knicks beat the Heat that one time, I was like, okay, now we got a series. But in the next game, they play like at least we didn't get swept. You understand what I'm saying? So I need to see which team shows up. But I'm gonna have to go with the experience on this one.
I'm going to ride with George Karl. I think that, like I said, their bench and their coach is going to win them 2 extra games, and they're going to win this series 4-3.
Game number 108. Game 7, number 108. The home team is 86-21. They win 80% of the time. We'll see what happens on Saturday night in L.A. Now, earlier today, the Nuggets excused Chris Anderson from all team-related activities indefinitely after police searched his home and seized property. Authorities say Anderson has been under investigation since February by the Douglas County Sheriff's Office Internet Crimes Against Children Unit. No charges have been filed and no arrests have been made in connection with the case. Anderson was not at the arena for Game 6. The Nuggets declined comment on what is an ongoing legal investigation. Here's what George Karl had to say.
For me right now, I think I'm at a stage where I don't know enough information, and I think we all are advised probably not to talk about it until we know the information. And the only thing I will say is I trust Chris. I think he's my years with him, he's been fantastic, and I think he's really grown as a person, and we're going to support him and stand by him.
This from Mark Bryant, Chris Anderson's agent. We have been actively cooperating with the authorities and will continue to do so. No arrest has been made. I believe in Chris. I would ask the citizens of Colorado to give Chris his due. When we come back here on Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai, more Thursday night playoff highlights. The Bulls trying to force a Game 7 back in Chicago. What a finish to this one in Philadelphia.
Inside the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities.
For everything NBA related, it's NBA Game Time on NBA TV. You won't see much Carmelo Anthony since he's not in the playoffs anymore.
Y'all are not right.
Well,
Saturday night going to be the erased Kobe Bryant.
hey, we're going back to 1989.
Cartwright.
When perms were the rage.
Well, that was a bad rage, Johnny.
Yeah, but they were still the rage, and our old buddy Doug Collins had himself one. That's the last time he won a playoff
Just
series.
let your soul
The Chicago
go.
Bulls, 1989.
Wow. Yeah, the Jerry curl.
Beating the New York Knicks.
That's called a perm, bro. That's what white people call it. It's called a perm for white people.
Tonight,
Jerry
soul
curl
go
for black
joint.
people.
Just
Let your soul
Tonight,
go.
Chicago and Philadelphia. Game 6, Doug Collins Sixers with a chance to put away the #1 seed. Luol Deng takes the inadvertent elbow from Andre Iguodala and takes a couple of stitches next to the nose.
A heck of a shot.
It was
That
a
was
shot.
ludicrous right there.
White shirts on the run, and Iguodala with
Yeah, he played
finish.
huge. He played huge in this game.
Rip Hamilton.
But the Bulls say, guess what?
Man, those
16-4
Guess
run
what?
to end the third quarter.
Want to fight?
And then Chicago would lead by 5 in the fourth. Iguodala.
come back.
4-3.
Like I said, he played huge this game. Every big shot came from him. Or every big play. Every big play. He makes the pass here. Lou Williams knocks down the three.
Philadelphia by a digit. And then a goaltend. Give Luol Deng the bucket. Give Chicago a 74-73 lead. It's 76-73 when Spencer Hawes cuts the lead to 1.
Oh, great pass. Great pass.
C.J. Watson to Omer Ashik. 26 seconds to play. They're up 3. Not over.
Watch this finger road.
Great decision by Thaddeus Young.
Great decision not to take that 3. And you realize that the Chicago Bulls are playing without Derrick Rose, Noah, and Boozer in the last minute of a basketball game in a deciding game.
Oh, that's flagrant. That's flagrant, Chuck.
You know, I need to see this.
Flagrant.
Just a 2-shot foul. It was ruled, and Ashik really short on the first one. And then on the second,
Wow.
and the Sixers down 1. Got a
Stop the
chance.
ball. You can't stop the ball. That's a step 2 guy against a guard.
Iguodala will go to the line.
That was, everything that could have went wrong, but it did go wrong. Good call.
In this series, at the line in the fourth quarter, Iguodala would make 9 straight free throws. None bigger than those 2. They are up 1. No timeouts for
Hey,
Chicago.
watch this play. Drew Holiday almost fouled him, Kenny. Yes, he did. He got out the way at the last second. If he had ran into him, they would have had to call something.
The Philadelphia 76ers become the 5th #8 seed to knock off a #1 seed. Denver did it. Knicks did it. Golden State did it. Memphis did it. And Doug Collins Sixers have done it. 79-78.
That's the same pose he had in 1989.
Over that depleted Chicago team. But give Philadelphia credit, man, that they battle. They win it 79-78. Both teams really going at it hard. Nobody scored 90 in the last 4 games of that series. Nobody scored 80 in 3 of the last 4 games. Philadelphia wins it by 1 point. Cheryl Miller with our post-game report.
Why they are advancing to the second round is because of those 2 big, huge free throws. What was going through your mind as the clock was winding down and you were driving to the basket?
Well, Asic's a bad shooter. I knew I'd have a chance to get the rebound. Smith did a great job boxing out. As soon as I got it, I seen I had a mismatch, and it would just go to the hole. And on the free throws, Tony Batiste, he gave me some advice. He said, think of something that you love when you shoot free throws. Because I've been struggling all year. I thought of my son, and it was easy after that.
Let's just talk about that big shot. I know you struggle offensively, but that was a huge 3.
I just wanted to stay aggressive. You know, shooters shoot. That's what we're supposed to do. So I just continued to be aggressive and just concentrate on the first shot. Whatever's coming to me, and I was able to make a big one.
And we fought like dogs, but not to lose. You know, we fought, and climbed all the way back. You know, had a 1 possession lead with 20 seconds, and just came up a little short. You know,
3 games in this place. Came out of the fourth quarter. Tonight was our best fourth quarter. I really thought we had a shot You know, it's frustrating to go out like this, especially late. What really hurts about this loss is just the fact that everything that we've heard. You know, that's really what hurts more than anything. The fact that, you know, we had guys down, people doubted us, and we just played hard. We wanted to show everyone that we have a team, you know, that can do it.
My great friend Rick Carlisle, who coaches Dallas, sent me a text message yesterday, and he said, "I just want you to know that to win Game 6, it'll be the hardest game that you've won in 2 years, and just make sure your team knows that." Well, he was right. He's no joke. He was right. Crazy year, short year, compacted schedule, injury to Spencer, 5-game losing streak, fired Doug Collins. I heard it. Doesn't take long to turn. It makes it feel better because I'm a Sixer for life.
And the Sixers win it 79-78. The Bulls, well, it ends in such a tough way with Derrick Rose going down, with Joakim Noah going down.
Will Dang, one arm.
Yeah, bad left wrist for him.
I mean, they ended the game.
Fight with Tom Thibodeau.
But you think about this, Ernie. They ended the game with no Rose, no Noah, and no Boozer.
Yeah, Boozer 1 out of 11.
They played
on this
team without their best 3 players and still fought. So, congratulations to Philadelphia.
Every young kid,
a lot of credit.
But let me say this: every young kid gotta like the Bulls, because as a coach and as a fan, and I'm a fan first and foremost, and fans, man, that team competes. Like, they compete. They don't make any excuses for injuries. You know, even after when they lost Rose, we still want to win. Then they lost Noah, and every game went down to the wire. So the city of Chicago should be proud of that team, and they're set for the next few years.
Let's look back at a couple of plays late in that game, and I know that they jumped out at you first. Kenny, let's talk about Chicago on the break here with C.J. Watson when he gave the ball up to a Sheik, and you're seeing the free throw percentages of the guys on the floor for Chicago.
Well, I think that
did they have any timeouts?
Well, the thing is, that should have been probably in the head of C.J. Watson. Unfortunately, he got caught up in the moment and tried to make the play to get a basket. But the one thing that you always remember is the clock is the enemy right now. So you're trying to run the clock out. So you're getting more points. You're already up 1. So, but then again, he's in a position that he's never been in before. Derrick Rose is usually in that position. And this is the first time in a game that really means something in the playoffs, not regular season, that he had to make a decision that he probably will regret, but then he will learn from, because he did have a great season. But that is the first thing that a point guard is thinking in his head. He's like, where are my shooters and who are my shooters? And you look off guys all the time in that instance and say, well, oh, you trying to get your points up? Yes, I am. Either I'm going to get a free throw line and miss, but I know that I'm not giving it up to certain guys. And that wasn't in his head. Yeah. I think because he's haven't been a starter and in that position before on a consistent basis.
Yeah, and the thing was frustrating about that play was he's an 80% free throw shooter. He passed the ball to a guy shooting 40%. And they had to foul. My only question on that play would be, first of all, he shouldn't have passed it to a Sheik, number one. I agree with Kenny. But if they had any timeouts,
I'm going to say no, because he went to the foul line right then, and then after Iguodala made his, they had no timeouts.
Okay, because you try to get all good free throw shoots because you had to foul. Right. But I'm going to tell you what happened. Rack up my play, please, TK.
There you go. There's a direct to the guys upstairs.
This is the perfect hailstorm where everything go to hell. Okay.
No.